Hello YouTube, this is JP963 here. Hello out there everybody. Tonight I'd like to talk with you a little bit about brewing coffee and what you might could do in a situation where we had no electricity or the power grid was down. Tonight I'm going to show you how you can use your electric coffee pot or the pieces from your electric coffee pot to help you brew a pot of coffee. You will need a way to boil your water. I'm going to use my wood stove for this example. If you don't have a wood stove or a fireplace or anything in that effect, you may have to consider building a small fire in your backyard, or if you've got a little propane cook stove or anything like that, you could use that possibly to boil your water. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use my wood stove. But first off, I would recommend this type of a percolator coffee pot, just to have for backup for emergency. Uh, this has an enamel finish. And I've used this for quite a few times camping. And basically how this here works, if you're not familiar with this type of design of coffee pot, this is a percolator. You take and put your coffee in here. You would measure it out just like you'd measure out your regular cup of coffee. You put it in there, put the lid on. And basically how this works is as the water boils, it goes up this tube and it comes out this hole at the top and it drips down on here, and the water drips through the coffee inside and drips out these holes in the bottom, and it just keeps going over and over and over. I would recommend getting one of these if you can. They're pretty inexpensive, maybe $10 or $15. I highly recommend having one of these, but in a pinch, and say you woke up in the morning, didn't have any power, and you needed to brew some coffee, I'm going to show you how you can brew your own coffee without power. And for what you will need for this experiment is you're going to need your regular coffee pot, and most coffee pots either have the insert where it slides in, where you need to have this piece right here that holds the filter and the coffee. Some of them have some coffee pots have the door that swings open that you fill it. You should be able to pop that door off for cleaning. You'll either need that piece or this piece here. Either way, as long as you have the piece that holds the filter and the coffee. And I'm going to take and go ahead and boil my water on my wood stove real quick using this. I could use this, but that'd kind of be cheating and be defeating the purpose of me showing you how to make the coffee with your coffee pot. So, and I don't know about y'all, but if y'all are like me, I've got to have my coffee. So, I'm going to put this on the wood stove. I'll get some water boiling, and I'll get back to you in just a moment. Okay, and what you're going to want to do is make sure that you've got proper glove wear so you don't burn your hand. And I just got done boiling the water on the wood stove. And what you're going to want to do is take and place this. It's a little slower method, but this will work in a pinch. You want to place this over the coffee pot. And what you want to do is real slowly start pouring the water down the very center. Now if you pour the water fast, it's just going to fill this up and it's not going to want to drain. So if you pour it real slow, it seems to keep you want to try to keep the stream of water right in the middle. If you pour it real slow, it'll keep the coffee away from the hole, and it seems to brew a little faster. warn you, this is a slow method. You want to make sure that you get your hand positioned where you can hold it for a few minutes. If it fills up, just hold it till it gets drained about halfway. Don't let it completely run dry, because you want to keep the water flowing, or else it'll clog up and it'll take forever in the day to brew a pot of coffee. And when it starts to get down a little bit, slowly add a little more water in the very middle. For all you coffee drinkers out there, I know you have to have your coffee. I know I've got to have my coffee in the morning. This will definitely get you by in a pinch, especially if in a situation where the electricity is out. And this right here is basically using what you already have with the coffee pot and the top piece to hold the coffee in the filter. I've used this method quite a few times camping. People look at me funny when I break out the coffee pot, but, well, the coffee pot itself and then the top piece, and they're like, well, what are you going to do with that? That's what I tell them, well, you'll see. Also, for another use, after you're like in an economic collapse or a raw type situation, you're going to want to be able to use things, you know, for what they can be used, not necessarily their intended purpose. And another benefit from the coffee in the filter is you can take and let it dry out, keep it in a plastic bucket, you know, just keep piling it up, and you can mix it in with your compost, and you can mix it in with your soil. You know, put nutrients into the soil, and you can mix this up in your garden, or maybe some household plants. Well, that was the last of the water, and in just a few moments we are going to have a fresh brewed hot cup of coffee. And I boiled the water on the wood stove, so brewing this pot of coffee, other than the coffee itself and the filter, it cost me absolutely nothing. No power. Like I said, this is a kind of slow method, but it does work, and it'll most definitely get you by in a pinch. Well, there you have it, folks. I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening. I'm fixing to sit down and enjoy a fresh brewed cup of coffee that cost me absolutely nothing. I hope this helps y'all out and maybe give you some ideas or an alternative way of making coffee in a situation where you have no power. Y'all take care. I'd just like to remind everybody to cherish your friends and your family, because what you have today might not be here tomorrow. Y'all take care, be safe, and God bless. Thanks for watching.